So Arch Manning, one of the more sought-after recruits in recent memory, but yesterday the wait for his decision finally came to an end. He's going to Texas. Used to be a pretty prestigious football program. It's still big time. As far as moneymaker goes, they make a lot of money. They don't have great results on the field, at least in the last decade or so. But they were able to get, and they've had five-star talent before, but now you get a quarterback. They got Quinn Ewers, who went to Ohio State, left high school early to go there, got a name, image, and likeness deal, maybe made $1 million, and then realized that he was not going to start at Ohio State, goes back to Texas, and he was the number one high school recruit a couple of years ago. He's there, kind of holding down the fort, and then Arch Manning is going to be coming on campus, and Quinn Ewers will probably be on the move again. Texas hasn't won more than 10 games in a decade. Last year finished with a losing record, but Arch Manning, it's a great step. But you're going to need to have a little more than just one player to turn around a roster, because when you go into the SEC, it's nice to have a good quarterback. It's even better when you have a nice team. And you start to think about the recruitment of Arch Manning. And I'll take you back to information I got from my source. This is, I don't know, a year ago. And I said, do you have a list for Arch Manning? And my source, I think at the time, I'd have to go back and look, but Texas was on it, Alabama was on it, and I think Georgia. Those were the three schools. This is a big win for Texas. And yes, name, image, and likeness, we can say, well, the Mannings have money. Did that play a factor here? I think once you get there, I don't think he needs it, which is easy for me to say, but he might go, I'm going to cash in here, name, image, and likeness. Why wouldn't I? Everybody else does. Why wouldn't I? But this one feels like, okay, you got him. Texas A&M had the, number one recruiting class, and, Jimbo Fisher and all the great things that they did. Alabama trying to counter that, and they whiffed on him as well. Georgia, how about Ole Miss? Ole Miss put Manning in big letters in the end zone when he went down there for a visit, and they whiffed on him with Lane Kiffin. And, of course, Eli went there. Tennessee, I don't know if they were ever in the mix there, but it felt like Arch Manning had his list narrowed down for about a year now and stayed pretty true to that, and eventually he's going to Texas. All right, 877-3DP-SHOW, email address dp@danpatrick.com, Twitter handle at DP Show. Snarky poll question, Paulie?
I got a couple snarky ones. Which college football program had a better offseason? Texas A&M.
Ooh.
Texas A&M had a good offseason.
Yeah.
And a decent season as well.
Yeah.
Texas, though, it's like there's a parade going on down there in Austin.
A&M tugged on Superman's cape.
Yep.
They
got a W, an offseason W.
Yeah, they did. Well, let's see what happens in October when they play in Tuscaloosa against Alabama. That W. A&M had a good offseason. I mean, this is big for Texas, but a lot can happen. Texas got to make sure that they hold on to Arch Manning. Like, this is a long time before he's going to play. He got, 14, 15 months before he plays a football game there. I'd say Texas A&M had a pretty good offseason. Yes, Marv?
So when Arch gets there, what's the expectations? Will they just be happy with a college football playoff appearance? Look, they're not good enough to.
Well, let's start there. How about we get a winning season?
Come on, relax.
And then we get a bowl game. And then maybe by his sophomore, junior year, you're playing for a national championship. And that should be the goal for Texas. Texas used to be one of the standard bearers. They always had great teams. But that's been a long time. And Steve Sarkisian, we know that he's bounced around. He got fired from USC. He got rehabbed at Alabama with Nick Saban. You got the Texas job. It didn't go well to start. And that's your lifeline right there. Because now it feels like if you were thinking of changing your head coach, if Steve Sarkisian had another losing record this year, are you going to say, hey, we're not going to let you coach this guy who you helped recruit to Texas? Yeah, Paulie.
I have one more poll question. This is kind of snarky based off expectations. Would you rather have the number one pick of the 2023 draft or pass on it and have the number 1 pick of the 2026 draft. And my saying is, I don't know if there's ever been a high school athlete with more pressure on them to match what their family has done. Both the uncles went number 1 in the draft. And anything less than a first-round draft pick would be a colossal disappointment in public perception, the casual sports fan.
I'm going to say Arch Manning is not the number 1 draft pick overall in 2027.
I'll take it for pies.
Okay.
I think it's the 2026 draft.
26 draft. Oh, okay. All right, 2020. So even if we're not still doing this, we'll still do this. I'll meet up with you, Paulie, somewhere.
Yeah,
and
drive up to Vermont. I'll have the pies ready.
Yeah, and I'll just smash you in the face. Here's for Arch Manning, and then smash you in the face.